back for episode 3. Uh, the plot is still coasting, although it did get development.
Yeah, we got a pretty big development in this episode.
Oh, we got a couple, but it still is follow Simon around, wait for what we need to be known. And one thing that you're finding out more is like what exactly happened and how everybody knows, I guess, knows that he has powers, or what happened when they started figuring that he had powers. Was this fire that happened in this kitchen with a stove, but he has no signs of smoke inhalation, which makes you think, oh, maybe he gets healed from the smoke inhalation and whatever. It's like, no, there just never was any smoke inhalation because there was no stove.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it was just him. The stove thing is an absolute lie, and the remodel was because they destroyed the kitchen originally, and they finally just redid it like fully. Uh, you get the like this guy did a really good job as Black Manta. He does a really good job here. It's just a very different type of acting. Like he's very like you can actually feel the borderline obsessive nature of waiting on this callback.
Yep, and we've all been there, whether it's like an audition or just a job interview that you're just waiting impatiently to hear back from.
Yeah, and one thing that I don't think a lot of people understand, now that I've been going to conventions a lot more, I've been listening to voice actors that I'm a big fan of that I know have multiple thousands of IMDb credits to their names. And the biggest thing they say is 95% of my job is auditioning. And then they're like, yeah, I get a role maybe every 25 that I send in. And that's me being that's that person being on the better end of the spectrum, and that's your big ones like Yuri Lowenthal, Abby Trott, freaking Chris Sabat, and all this. They're like, it's not guaranteed. We still have to audition. We audition like a lot. They may show up in a lot of things. I don't think people realize just how much anime there is. And then you think of people trying to get roles and stuff like that for Hollywood, and trying to understand what the job is. Like his brother Eric, God, I don't know who that actor is, but my God, he plays a really good prick. Uh,
Yeah,
um, Making fun of him because, and again, it's already showing, but I have a feeling there's going to be something that makes Trevor come back to it, where he snapped the chip on the wire, but where like Eric is digging into him, he's like, oh, so it's a second interview for a job you don't know if you're gonna get. He's like, that's actually a really big deal that he got that call back. It's not a guarantee. Just that alone means he's doing something really good. And people with safe jobs don't get that. We're like, yeah, my paycheck's guaranteed. Like, yeah, but if he gets one good job, you could outmake what you make an entire 5 years, depending on what it is.
exactly.
And it's doing something that he likes. So yeah, uh, I do like that in this. That after everything goes through and he has that angry moment where he shatters that island, and the mom and brother are just like, man, they're like acting like he like broke a plate because they like know this is the thing that happens, and then it's made apparent that the family knows that he's the one that caused that because he has powers, and that they've been lying that entire time about this fire. So it's a big cover up by them to everyone else, and they do know. It wasn't like Simon was the only one that knows.
Yeah, I mean that's at the very least I suspected that his mom knew.
Yeah, at least his mom. But they were going out of their way to say that he was alone when this fire happened. So when they're just like, no, I think everybody saw him do something really bad, and they just made up a cover story for it, and literally everyone in the entire family got told about it. So that is cool. That is a wrinkle that I wasn't expecting to be there. Uh, him and it really sucks. Like I'm gonna bet my house that these two characters never show up again. These two are really good together.
Yeah, they are.
Like really good together. It doesn't feel like it's forced. It's like really well written. And with how they're probably going to be going forward with the MCU after these two Avengers movies, there's not going to be a lot of these shows that ever get made again.
Which is a shame because yes, we can all point fingers at Bob Chapek for overloading the MCU with so much content, but
Uh-huh.
the stuff that's good is still really good.
It is 100%. It is, but it's just it sucks that like chances like this are never going to get taken. Now, give or take, I know not every movie or not every show is being good like Wonder Man is, because you also get your Secret Invasions and your Echoes every now and then. But yeah, it's gonna be weird going forward. But it is what it is, and he's got to deal with what they're gonna play moving on from this, because we don't even know what people are going to be big deals after this. And I got spoiled on something that has to deal with this that made it think this might have been a little bit more important than what it actually is. Because it's something that only has been a thing since they started making these TV shows.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I did appreciate also too that the mom not knowing the difference between a TV show and a movie, because I've had relatives that do that exact same thing.
Same.
And like they don't understand what streaming is and other stuff, where it's just kind of like, oh yeah, that's on that, like everything's on Netflix, like it doesn't matter what it's like, oh yeah, that was on Netflix, no, that was on Disney Plus. They're like, no, that was on Paramount. I understand you think streaming is just Netflix, but it's not. But yeah, so a lot of this writing feels very, I don't know if genuine's the right word, like realistic. It doesn't feel like it's being made for a TV show. It actually feels like genuine as they're writing it.
Yeah, like with this episode, it really does feel like you're setting foot in like a family gathering.
Mm-hmm. And like I didn't mention it last episode, but like a secret agent having to deal with a pain in the ass method actor of like when he's waiting up, he's like, are you going to respond to him? He's like, I wouldn't respond to that right away, and I wouldn't send message fragments. And he's just like, you think we've waited long enough? He's like, all right, I put down my book and I've walked across the room to get my phone. And people are like, that's dumb. I'm like, no, that's probably exactly how they think out scenes in their head. So they have to make sure another actor feels like they are being an actor in that moment. Good Lord. It's just really good. Ben Kingsley needs to do more stuff where he's funny. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. His comedic timing is just impeccable.
Is unbelievably good comedic timing. Unless you have anything else, I am good.
Only thing I'll end on is the ending where.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, they both got the call back.
Yeah, they both got callbacks for Wonder Man, which is not completely shut down that this is possibly a giant government psyop to get Simon in there. Because if it's not, and he just figured this guy would want something like Wonder Man, that's fine. But if he specifically pegged him to get in a Wonder Man audition, I'm going to need to know why they knew he loved Wonder Man.
Yeah.
So if Trevor's on, like, if we find out in the next episode that, like, yeah, we got back for auditions, and then Trevor's like, what are you having me do? I didn't actually audition. This movie isn't real. Like, what are we doing? Then that'll be interesting. But, yeah, I didn't expect the callback to be in episode 3.
Yeah, this is like this is actually moving a little bit faster than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm. This isn't bad. It'll just be interesting to see what they do with the rest of it. Because I thought this audition process was going to be, which I think this is going to be the first of two callbacks before we get like, and then the final audition is when he gets it at the very end. But yeah, I have nothing else. I'm not saying this show is blowing me out of the water because it's not anything over the top yet, but it's good. It's well
Yeah,
written. It hasn't fallen flat on its face anywhere. It's just like genuinely coasting on being good, well written, and like fun to watch because it's just genuine good chemistry between two leads. So yeah, it's I've been enjoying it quite a bit so far. Mike, where can everybody find you?
you guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterbox.com/Coach K42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Blue Sky at Renegade Pop Culture. You can also find us on YouTube at Renegade Pop Culture and Organoid Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Find us on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
Absolutely, and you can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. If you were into cosplays and the like, you can look at my Instagram where all my cosplay and convention going content is. Alrighty, until next time, we will see you all later.